It's Somethin Juicy. You know we keeping it juicy.
Spilling truth with a smile so sweet. Talking all the buzz from the blogs and the tweets. From the headline to the hometown streets. She bring the flavor, can't nobody compete. It's Somethin Juicy with Nani Juicy. Talk of the town, yeah, she got the news. Keeping it fun, keeping it true. It's Somethin Juicy, keeping it juicy too.
Welcome back, everybody. You're tapped into Jammin with Juice, and like you heard the lady say, it is time for Somethin Juicy. Ooh, yeah. All right.
She didn't say all that.
She did in the extended version. But anyway, the very first thing that I'm going to bring up for Somethin Juicy, the U.S. House approves the release of the Epstein Files in a nearly unanimous vote, you guys.
You don't say.
So on Tuesday, the House voted to pass a bill requiring the Department of Justice to release the files related to Jeffrey Epstein, following months of resistance from President Donald Trump and GOP leaders. The vote was overwhelmingly in favor with a tally of 427 to 1. Representative Clay Higgins was the only member to cast a no vote. Higgins posted a statement on X citing his claims. He expressed concern about how the files could harm innocent people. He also mentioned he would change his vote to yes if the Senate addresses his privacy concerns in an amended version of the bill. Survivors of Epstein who had gathered outside of the Capitol to demand the release of the files celebrated in the House gallery after the vote concluded. Epstein had previously been convicted on state charges of soliciting prostitution and soliciting prostitution from a minor. Although Trump stated on Monday that he would sign the bill into law if it reached his desk, which it does now, many Democrats in the Capitol are skeptical about the sincerity of his support given his earlier strong resistance to the proposal. But it passed, you guys, so it is gonna head on over to Trump, where he is gonna have to sign it over, you know. And it's kind of weird to me
if he wants to sign it over, though.
But he said he would. Now, do I believe it? I'm at the point where I believe it when I see it, type of stuff.
Yeah,
but it's really weird to me that all of a sudden, I feel like yesterday and like even earlier this week, he was telling the Republicans to vote yes on it. Like he switched completely.
Yeah, he's like, I'm ready for it, man.
Yeah, he was like, all right, I want the Republicans to vote a yes on it so they can come out, which is mighty suspicious to me.
Don't you find that suspicious?
It is mighty suspicious because it's like, what, did y'all use AI to corrupt the files now and change some things up so your name at least isn't in it? Like, what was really going on? You know, what was really going on up in them files where now you're like, oh, I don't care what goes on. Just mighty suspicious to me. But again, I think it just alludes to the fact that a lot of people today just don't have trust in the government. So the fact that I'm even saying, oh, I don't even trust that the files are not going to be tainted with, you know, once they do eventually come out, it's crazy to me. But I am curious as to what would happen next. Like after everything is out, after we see who is actually going to be on there, whether it's Trump or other celebrities that we know, and what happens to them moving forward, you know, and how do the victims actually get justice. But I guess we're going to have to wait and see that part.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to wait and see what happens, Juice. So like you said, it is going to head to the Senate. And I guess we're going to get the Senate vote then. And being that overwhelmingly on both sides, from the Republican Party to the Democrat Party, they basically did a unanimous vote of we need to release these things, I think we'll see the same exact cause and effect happen with the Senate, and it'll just be up to Donald Trump if he wants to release it or not. But I'm with you, Juice. I think there will be a bunch of it will be tampered with. There will be redactions from these Epstein files. Redacted. Because ultimately, like, even and I don't even want to just say like, you know, they're not supposed to do this, because they are, right? This is one of the reasons why I came down with the JFK files, that a lot of things couldn't be put out for such a long time because people who were in those files were still alive at the time. So traditionally, they would wait for people to pass away, or members who were actually put in those files to no longer be like an American citizen or be impacted in some way, shape, or form. So when it comes down to these Jeffrey Epstein files, I'm certain that the victims' names will be redacted because a lot of them are still alive. Even when it comes down to Donald Trump, a lot of the people who are still going to be in these files, it's going to be redactions. However, you know, I would like to see it come out full and full, you know, see everybody's name on there. If Diddy's on there, if Chris Tucker's on there, Jay-Z's on there, I want to see who, what, when, and where, how, and everything went down. You know, I want to see those types of things because as the story unravels and unfolds, we see how powerful Jeffrey Epstein was. You know, and then I think, you know, if Donald Trump is in this to the magnitude that we do, that people do believe that he is in there, talking about blowing Bubba, you know, hopefully we'll find out who Bubba really is, you know, and in doing so, it may actually taint President Trump's reputation for the rest of his life.
We'll see.
Yeah, no, we're definitely going to see. We're definitely going to see. So we'll see exactly what happens. But being that it, like I said before, it was a unanimous vote between the Republican and Democrat Party, and they can't agree on anything besides these Epstein files. I think this speaks to his voter base right now, and his voter base truly wanting the truth of what happened with these Epstein files, because Epstein was viewed as one of the biggest sexual perpetrators of all time. And if Donald Trump is one of these people who was a sexual perpetrator, which he, 33-time convicted felon, I'm certain that he will lose a lot of support, if not be impeached after this.
I don't know if I would say that they necessarily are agreeing on it. I think that Republicans are kind of just following Trump's orders at this point to say, like, yes, let's just release him. But we'll see what happens after that. All right, you guys, moving right along. Bow Wow and B2K are reuniting.
On what though?
For tour, you guys. They are coming back. It is the Boys for Life tour, and it is coming to Milwaukee on, let me get the date right, on April 2nd. All right, it's coming to Milwaukee April 2nd. Tickets are going to be on sale Friday with pre-sale on Thursday. But when it comes to this tour, you guys, it's going to be Bow Wow and B2K, and they're going to be on the stage together celebrating Bow Wow's 25th music anniversary, as well as B2K reuniting after 6 years. Artists like Jeremiah, Pretty Ricky, Waka Flocka, and more are expected to join the highly anticipated tour, and it is, of course, presented by the biggest Black-owned live music company, Black Promoters Collective. So people are very excited that the boys are going to be back, that they put all of their issues to the side. When I'm talking about B2K here, because they have been in the news recently. The last tour that they were on was like in 2019.
For the Millennium Tour?
Yes, for the Millennium Tour. I don't believe Bow Wow was on that lineup at the time, but I have seen Bow Wow and Omarion separately at least like twice now, in separate tours and different Millennium Tours and Scream Tours and all this other stuff. So that's not nothing new. But B2K coming on that now, along with Bow Wow and everybody else that is aligned with it. I think it's gonna be fun. They say Young Jock will be there, Crime Mob, Franchise Boys, A. Marie.
Franchise Boys.
Yeah.
Franchise in my white tee. In my white tee.
Yeah.
Lean with it.
Bow Wow has said that, you know,
bring JD out now.
You're gonna want to get tickets to it because every single show that he does is completely different, so you don't get the same type of tour every single time. Every set, you know, is completely different every time, but I think it should be fun. You know, the nostalgia is always at an all-time high, and they are gonna ride that nostalgia until the wheels fall off. But I will say B2K is also gonna be dropping an album as well, so that is what they're trying to like build the hype up for sure.
It makes sense. I'm ready to see it though. The only people I don't agree with on that ticket though would be Pretty Ricky, just because, man, every time I've seen Pretty Ricky, Pleasure P just seems to be like, this is my show.
Yeah, you
know, like I see ego a lot of times when I see Pleasure P perform. I don't necessarily see that with other groups, because when you're working with a team, when you're working with a group, your ego needs to die. Like, it's
why
not
do you
about
say
you.
It's ego?
Because,
he had a lot of singles. So you mean to tell me if Pretty Ricky is performing, you don't think that Pleasure P should also do his single songs that were hot?
I think he should definitely do his single songs, but what I'm saying is, okay, look, when we did Tacos and Tequila, right? We was at Tacos and Tequila. Pretty Ricky was up there for maybe 15 minutes doing their records. Pleasure P out here for the next 30-35 minutes, and he's not that good of a performer, by the way, by himself for sure. So that's what I'm saying. Like, even though he had a bigger star, if you will, besides his group mates, his bandmates or whatever, he should still find a way to allow them to work the crowd with him. You know, I just don't think it's as good. When I'm looking for Pretty Ricky, I want the group. I don't want Pleasure P by himself. That's just what it is. Pleasure P may think he's all that in a bag of chips, but I do think
that Pretty Ricky needs to go in that bag and go into some album cuts that weren't necessarily singles, because it seemed seem like after they do their singles, then Pleasure P, he do his thing with all of his singles and stuff like that. But maybe they could go a little bit deeper into it, you know, because there were some songs on there that I'm sure people appreciate and would want to hear as a group.
Yeah, as a
you know,
group.
outside of just Pleasure P. But Trey Tay is funny. He said Pleasure P been having a lot of pleasure at the kitchen table.
Damn.
Saying that he's a little Pleasure P is
He's a little stout. He's a little stout. Now that's real. And then, I mean, ultimately though, I think this is great that they are all coming together like this. From Pleasure, not Pleasure P and them, but Pretty Ricky to B2K to Bow Wow. Like, you know.
And why do we still call him Bow Wow? Didn't he say he wanted to be called Chad Moss? I feel like we don't be putting no respect on him.
I like Bow Wow. I mean, in all
it's
honesty,
iconic. It's his stage. To me, that's his stage name. Like Shad Moss, yes, it's who he is, but Bow Wow is like you getting bow on that stage.
You know, and like I can't say I hate, but like you need, when you do those types of things, you need to go through a full rebranding of it. Like Bow Wow, if you want to go by Shad Moss, which is your real government name, you need to do a whole new rebranding era. Like you need to have more hit singles out than you had in the past. You know what I'm saying? But we will forever know you as Bow Wow until you're able to get out of that quote unquote shadow. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing because I love Bow Wow. Bow Wow was one of the first rappers that I was like, oh man, this is my guy. You know what I'm saying? He was actually the first artist I ever saw perform. You know, when I was probably about like 10 years old.
I can't wait for Bow Wow to.
It's not like we call him Lil Bow Wow.
He's lost the weight now, which is one thing that I really want him to do. So he's lost all that fat off of him. I don't know if he's drinking as much as he used to because I know he said that was like a big reason why he was real like just puffy.
Yeah,
but
he ain't at them Diddy parties no more. So.
Now I want to see Bow Wow come back with like an album for the ladies, you know, because he was always a ladies man,
like that, man,
and I think he needs to make some more singles and some more hits.
Yeah,
just speaking to the ladies and show people that like, man, I still got it. I know he just had a single recently, I believe, with Chris Brown when he was just on tour like earlier this year, I think it was. But I want an album from Bow Wow, really just showing everybody who he truly is, and he's that guy. Okay, he's Mr. 106 in Park. So you have a nice little song with a beat on it. Have some women in the video, make it like a older type of video where maybe it's just you know how it used to be just all white and it would have like dancers and stuff, and just make it really nice. And I think he could for sure do that and revive his career in that way. I don't really want bars from Bow Wow. I want some nice little like,
good music.
Hey shawty, I'm trying to get with you right. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I want from Bow. So
Bow Wow was
tour will be definitely fun. Now, speaking of another artist, you guys, a really big artist and one of my favorite artists of all time.
Almost gave you that package.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The package about the cherries. He was about to give you the cherry package.
He wasn't giving me no cherry package. He walked right over me, which I did get to touch him when he did that. But I'm talking about Usher! Usher, baby! Yes, I'm talking about Usher, you guys. He is suing Brian Michael Cox and others over failed Buckhead restaurant loan, and he is seeking $4.9 million in damages, you guys. Okay. So Usher has filed a lawsuit in Fulton County against music producer Brian Michael Cox, associates Keith Thomas, Charles Hughes, and entertainment lawyer, I believe it's Alcide Honor. I'm gonna just say that. The lawsuit stems from a loan that Usher gave to the group for a restaurant project that never happened. Now, according to the lawsuit, the group pitched Usher on opening a restaurant and lounge called Homage ATL at, I don't care to give the address, but it was at the former Ocean Prime location. So Usher agreed to loan $1.7 million in January, but did not take an investor role. The money was wired to a trust account. However, months later, the property had not been purchased, and over the summer, Usher requested repayment and received $1 million in August, but the remaining $700,000 had not been returned. The suit claims that the lawyer admitted repayment would be difficult because the funds were used for other purposes. Usher is seeking $4.9 million in damages, allocating $700,000 for each of the 7 claims in the lawsuit. And so everybody was in a frenzy because they're like, oh no, I don't want to see Usher and Brian Michael Cox beefing. Like, they're really good friends. This is crazy. I hope that this doesn't mean that their friendship is over. And so Brian Michael Cox did put out a statement, and he said, regarding to today's news, I've learned a lot recently about being careful with who you choose to invest in a business with. No matter how small the investment, I'm currently in the middle of a failed deal that I didn't orchestrate. And while the situation has been disappointing, I know my name will be cleared by both sides. It's just unfortunate that this clarity didn't come sooner. sooner. My legal team has also advised me of a lawsuit involving a company where I am only a passive minority shareholder. I was not a participant in that business transaction and have no involvement in the ongoing legal process. And while I'm unable to share more details right now, I want to make one thing absolutely clear. My 27-year friendship with Usher remains fully intact. So I appreciate everyone who's reached out and had a concern, and with love and patience. Thanks for the understanding and all of the things. So their relationship is really good, but it does just go to show you that when you're going into business with your friends, things can get a little bit messy. Now, fortunately for these two friends, it seems like everything's good, and it's more so on the other business partners that they had involved in the situation. But sometimes it can get really messy, and they say don't go into business with your friends, but you know, things do work out in the end sometimes.
Yeah. Now, I personally don't think this is even a bad thing. I think this is just business that they're all dealing with. Brian Michael Cox is infamous, famous songwriter, and I want to say he was also with Boyz II Men. So Usher has plenty of respect for him, and I know they're not having a falling out. It's just business at the end of the day.
I want my money, and I want it now.
Yeah, and
I don't blame Usher for that.
No,
I'm just glad the friendship is still, good. Sometimes you do got to walk away from certain stuff though before the friendship gets a little messy, because it's like, listen, I would rather just keep you as a friend versus us get all messy in the money business. But also, when you're in the industry, you hope that the industry doesn't change your friendships too, because you see what's going on with like the City Girls. Not to say like behind the scenes that it wasn't something more so internal between just the two of them, but I definitely think it was outside forces that was kind of like splitting them apart. Because I thought the City Girls, and I was hoping they would be friends for forever, but it seems like they're just more so cordial now, or I don't even know if they're cordial at this point because of how Saucy Santana and JT be going at it, and Miami in the middle of that.
Too messy
That's
for
neither
me.
here nor there. Be careful when you go into business with your friends. That's what I'll say about that.
I would just like to see this end up as like a Judge Judy episode though. Like that's what they should do. Take it to like Judge Judy or Judge Joe Brown, something like that.
These shows were fake.
Nah, they were actually real cases. Those were real cases, and they would fly them out. I actually had
the
two
ones
people
now at least are fake.
Yeah, the ones now are definitely fake, but back in the day they were real, and it would, it would be somewhat of entertainment. But speaking of, I do remember there was an episode where two friends had went into business and they did the show, and the one biggest reason they did the show is because they knew they would make more money after the show from getting the publicity.
Yeah, I don't like when people be faking beefs. That's weird. Like a real beef, don't be faking real beef.
Do you?
Yeah, like faking real beef. Like before when we were talking about dang.
Because we just had a conversation about this yesterday.
I know, but I'm talking about like how the baby said that some dude had approached him and said, let's do a actual rap beef, but like act like we really hate each other.
Yeah.
That's different from having a difference of opinions. I'm talking about real rap beef. Like that's fake. That's weird. That's weird.
I'm telling y'all, Somethin Juicy is capping right now.
I'm not capping,
I'm
but
going to let that be, and I ain't saying nothing else.
That's weird. Anyway,
all these fake ass rappers in Milwaukee.
Can't
none of y'all stay in the rain from being Jammin.
I know what you're talking about. But that's different. And I'm going to tell you off air why that's different. I thought you were talking about something else. All right, y'all. When we come back, there's a story going up right now about a Chicago woman and her children being jumped near Southside CPS school out there in Chicago. And it has taken the media by storm. It has taken all of the watchers of this video by storm. And it is leaving people with questions as to what happens next. Who gets held accountable when you are seeing a bunch of kids jumping an entire family after school? It's crazy, you guys. We're gonna have the video for you. We got the news story coming up, but make sure you guys keep it locked. We got more conversations with Jammin with Juice on the other side. Stay locked in. We'll be right back on Jammin with Juice. But in the meantime, hit us in the chat and join the conversation. We'll take a look on the other side.